obviously have a ton of tryout guys. So
Yeah.
I'm just curious what the thought process is, rather than have a smaller group, having a big group, just how you decide on that.
Yeah, you know, you don't want anybody to slip through the cracks, so you bring as many people as you can in, give them an opportunity. And again, maybe you sign one, maybe you sign two, maybe you don't sign any, but I think it's good for those guys to get an opportunity and for us to get eyes on them, doing some of our stuff. And if someone we think is worth bringing up and signing, that's what we'll do.
Can you recall a situation where a tryout guy really impressed you, turned your head, and ended up making a real difference for you?
Yeah, Malcolm Butler.
Yeah. What about him in the tryout phase impressed you?
Well, I would say I was on the other side of the ball, but obviously, you know, the play he made, the team that I was part of that won a Super Bowl there at the end against Seattle. You know, he's just a guy that was a tryout guy that ended up being pretty productive for our football team, obviously in the biggest game of the year.
Is it hard? I mean, you know, the draft guys you've studied, some of these tryout guys you've studied too, obviously, you know, but you know, you get a couple of days out here, and you know, these guys are the biggest thing in their lives, and you're kind of walking through this one and that one, and you got your coaches. Is it hard to really put a trained eye on these guys and, you know, make sure you're seeing the right things with them?
Well, that's why you film every drill. You spend time after practice. You go through the tape. It's you tell the coaches usually when training camp starts, and even these camps, don't be an instant evaluator. It's not just one day, but here you only have 2 days, so we'll go through. We went through the first day. We'll go ahead and watch these guys here this practice, and then ultimately make our decisions.
A lot of scouting is obviously looking beyond the numbers. Theo Johnson didn't even have 1,000 yards in his 4 seasons at Penn State, and he went, you know, 4th round picks pretty high.
Sure.
What did you guys see beyond the numbers in Theo Johnson?
He's smart. He's a young professional, a true pro, loves the game, has good size, can bend, can run, you know, obviously tested really well. But he had a really good pro day too at Penn State, moving around, running his routes. Again, hitting the bag, you can get so much out of it. You can tell he's bend, he's athletic. You know, good guy we thought would be to work with.
You obviously have a relationship at Penn State. You've been there the last couple of years when, you know, Christian was there.
Sure.
Did you get to know Theo from afar or even closer than that? It looked like the team released your call with him. It seemed like you guys had a relationship beyond just...
Well, we've talked to him a few times before. Again, had a lot of good recommendations from Penn State, from the people down there of what type of person he was, and you know, some other people that worked down there that have either coached him or been on the offensive side with him. A good, big, long, athletic player that we thought was good to work with.
Can you say there's some specific times at Penn State where he thrust himself into a leadership role among his peers?
Sure.
How much does, I know that's not
Yeah.
all important.
No,
maybe,
no, it is important.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I think you know, credit Joe and their staff. You know, it's something that we place a high premium on is the type of person you are, the type of leadership qualities that you do have. It's hard to be a leader when you're a rookie and you're trying to learn everything, but you know, certainly that's an important quality that we look at.
You mentioned the Zoom calls yesterday with some of the draft picks, and they talked about it.
Sure.
The undrafted guys, did they go through that process too?
It was mostly our draft picks, just to try to catch them up for, I would say, Monday, which there's going to be a big learning curve for them. So just to try to catch them up on a few things, but they're a ways away.
How do you think Malik handled the bet that supposedly was made and then he ends up canceling? How do you think he handled that situation?
Like, just
he made a
give
bet.
it to me one more time.
He made a $10,000 bet for Rookie of the Year with Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, he said he canceled it, right?
And then I was just wondering how you thought he handled it. I mean, he's a first round pick, 20 years old.
Yeah, no, I think he's a mature young guy. You know, I was happy with the way he handled it.
You talk about Theo Johnson, and you know, he's one of 3 Canadians you have on the roster. How much of non-NFL football have you watched, and how much of the correlation between the Canadian game and the NFL game are you really seeing?
Well, I've got to watch him at Penn State, so he played here, but you know, we have some people in our scouting department that are from Canada. I was born in Canada. Again, if you can play, you can play.
How much have you seen the way that betting is kind of now just it's all over the place? I mean, how is that adjusting? Is this like that what
One more time?
The betting, like the betting aspect of everything in
Yeah.
sports betting, because that's something that with Malik, I don't think anyone would have turned ahead 6 years ago or so, and now.
Yeah, I think there's rules in our league, and we'll do everything we can to follow them.
Did you tell him, like, when you heard about that? Like, is that something that you flagged immediately, or?
Yeah, I'd say our our support staff, our people, we have conversations with all our guys. Rookies, you even have more. So, they did a good job. And look, this guy's a good young kid, and I think he put that behind him.
That speaking of behind him, that catch he made yesterday, is that an example of what makes him special? Like catch radius, the fact that he really doesn't lose any speed when he makes that play.
Yeah, I'd say we picked him really high, so I think there's a lot of things, a lot of qualities about him that you can hopefully project him taking a good step here in this league. But there's a lot to learn. He's athletic, he's quick, he's explosive, he has very good hands, he's got good awareness, he's got flexibility to play inside and outside. Now it's our job and it's his job here to go ahead and start picking it up, and there's a lot to learn. But certainly we thought he was a really good player, obviously, where we took him.
You have You have some receivers, Malik is an example, Al
Sure.
Robinson now is an example, guys who do have flex.
Yeah.
Would you rather see them settle into he's going to be our slot or he's going to be outside, or do you intend to go into the season flexing them in and out?
Yeah. I think, again, the way the game has kind of evolved, the space game, you expect a lot of these guys to be able to play inside and outside. I think we have a number of players, Hyatt played a lot inside at Tennessee. Obviously, Wandell played inside, but he also played outside. We used Slay at a couple different spots last year, Malik. So I would say that, you try to teach them all the spots so they can learn all the concepts, and then try to put them where you need to put them. So we kind of require all our guys to try to learn multiple spots, multiple letters, if you will, of where we place them.
The vets have been, going through phase 2. We won't be here for a couple of weeks. I'm just curious, some of the guys who finished last season injured, like Evan, for instance, or Graham Gano, have they been?
Yeah, they've all been doing different things, some more than others. I think they're all taking good steps of, trying to get out there for the phase 3 portion of it. They've been all doing something.
How about Aaron Robinson? Because he didn't see
He's still working with the rehab guys, doing some walkthrough, but he's still working with the rehab guys.
Has anyone been fully cleared, like Evan or Graham?
Yeah, they're all doing something.
Has Evan been here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sure every year you look, but with the new kickoff rules, are you and your guys even more cognizant of trying to find guys who can do that?
What spot?
Kickoff return.
Yeah, I'd say there's a lot of our skill players that are lobbying for it. That play the defense back or receiver, and I think it's a different play now. There's a lot less space, to run. There's a lot more openings for some of the runners. So we're using a variety of people back there. Whether you're a receiver or a runner or a defensive back, guys that are good in space. Go back and watch some of the tape that from the other leagues. It could be an explosive play. So hopefully you got some explosive guys that can make some yards. It's another offensive play, really.
What's your philosophy with these guys lobbying? They're logging full snaps.
If they're the best guys,
Yeah.
play them. I've been part of teams that Julian Edelman, returner for us, that made a lot of productive plays. If it helps the team, it helps the team.
Do you have to change your practice schedule, add more time for kickoff now that the play requires a lot more new teaching,
Sure.
new learning for players?
Yeah, we devote quite a bit of time in that area, not just kickoff, just in the special teams part of it. So really how Gove sets it up, he's done a great job since he's been here, been very, very organized, detailed, the things that we need to try to get accomplished. We give him ample time, but there's definitely some, a little bit more strategy now placed on it, something new, so it's something we have to work out.
Does it open the door for maybe seeing 2 returners back there more consistently than we normally see them?
Mm-hmm.
What have you seen from your new staff now that you've had a couple of weeks with the old guys and these newer
Yeah.
guys coming in?
Yeah, I've been very happy with them. Very organized, detailed. They've done a good job. Shane's done a great job, kind of leading his group. Very organized. And then Goby's, full of energy out here running around. And, we brought Cam over from he was at New England. He was a special teams coordinator. He's been a good addition. Charlie Bullen's been a really good addition. So TK, Jimmy Kelly, Carm. Again, we're out here. It's really, you know, we've been out here for phase 2. This will be the second day of rookie camp, which is good, and it'll be good to get out here for phase 3 and really get some good practices in.
Couple more.
Inside linebacker seemed to be a spot where you guys actually had some pretty good depth with Bobby, Micah, Isaiah's back. What made Darius a good option for you guys in the 6th round?
Well, Gopes had some familiarity with him. Smart, instinctive guy, loves the game of football. You know, he was up there on our board. You know, we were talking about him, and you know, I'm glad we got him. He's a good football player.
Drew Phillips was talking about, you know, playing nickel and
Sure.
how it's changed, like just the perception. Like it used to be, you know, guys always felt like a last resort. Okay, well, you go inside and you go play nickel. I know you're talking from an offensive perspective when you're mentioning your flexibility for your offensive guys.
Yeah.
How important has that spot gotten as a nickel corner? And
Sure.
do you look at it as a premium spot now because
Yeah.
of the way the game changed?
Yeah, the game is. I mean, there's mostly 11 personnel. I mean, there's some that people run some other, the heavy 11. I'd say heavy sub on defense. Almost 3/4 of the game, for the most part, is played that way. So, you know, it's a hybrid position. You got to be able to do a good job in the run fits. You'll be able to cover man-to-man, tackle well, physical. You know, it's a very important position. Just that there's so many people that play multiple receivers that you need to be able to match that on the defensive side.
How do you feel about that cornerback spot on the outside opposite Deontay? Like, who's
Yeah, look forward to working in phase 3 and training camp. But I got a lot of confidence in Flop.